Well, it looks like we're live. What's going on, sales pros? Happy late Monday to you. I've got something special that we're going to do tonight. And you can expect me to start doing more stuff like this because I'm really at a point now to where I want to give as much to the sales community as possible. I want to offer up all the solutions, all the help. I want to be the go-to guy that really takes care of everything out with us here. He's coming on right this second. And we're going to take a few minutes to talk to you tonight. It'll mostly be Mark. I'll let him talk in a second. We're going to take a few minutes to talk to you tonight about something that I think is very important for this community. I've written tons of articles about it, and it's something I care about. And really, Mark's story is great, and I'm sure he'll tell a better version of it, but I'll give you the short version of it from what I've seen. Mark became a personal client of mine a couple of years ago, and he was selling car salesman trading stuff, you know. He was helping car salesmen, and if you've never done that before, and no offense to the car guys, and I don't fucking care, the truth's the truth, right? But it's a fucking grind. I mean, car guys, they don't fuck people just on car deals. They will fuck you on chargebacks and everything else, man. And there's good car people, you know what I'm saying? It's like saying all white people are in the KKK or some shit. Like, there's good fucking car people, but the majority of them, it's fucking like, it's problemsome. So Mark starts to, you know, he has a passion to help sales people. He starts coaching the car guys, and I was like, dude, I did that, man. I backed out quick. You know, it's like, and he's like, dude, it's I want to help these guys. It was driving me nuts. And I said, but you're not passionate about selling cars. You just want to fucking help people. You have to figure out what the fuck you're passionate about. And he did that, you know. Turns out he's passionate, you know, about helping guys beat addiction. Mark will tell you a story here in a few minutes, but now he's actually living out his passion. It's like all this time, the things that we go through, the experiences that we have are pushing us to what we're supposed to do in life. But many times, and this is for real for salespeople and entrepreneurs, but many times we try to do the right now thing that we think will make us money. Well, I guarantee you now, Mark is doing what he was put on this earth to do. He's helping people, he's healing people, and he's making more money than he's ever made in his life. It's funny how that works out when you actually figure out what you're passionate about. And it's just a fun fact about my friend Mark is he has the biggest fucking legs. I'm friends with Mike O'Hearn, and I don't think Mike O'Hearn's legs are as big as fucking yours are, Mark. So thanks for hanging out with me.
Right on, man. Thanks for having me. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, good. So, yeah, man, about my legs, I got a squat rack right back there. If you want to fucking jump on here, come up here and do some legs with me. But, yeah, thanks for giving me the opportunity to get on here. I know we've been talking about this thing for a little while. I'm going to start this thing off with, you know, I shared with you that message, that private message that I got a couple minutes ago, right? The truth is, you did say some shit. I am making more money than I ever, you know, maybe not than I ever have when I own the trucking company, but I'm making fucking good money, a lot more money than I did do anything else. But that isn't really why I do this. I just fucking shared with Ryan here a little bit ago. I got a message from a guy's therapist who I just gave a little bit of my time to some guy, and he thought highly of me, and he ended up fucking dying and ODing on heroin, right? So the reason I get on here, and you know, it actually fucking made me sad because maybe I could have saved his life, right? I don't know. I know something I did touch his life, but it wasn't enough, right? I wasn't able to truly stop him because then today I get a message and literally I'm like, it's a great time to talk about it. But what I want to say is any of you guys out there that are struggling, like, you can reach out to me. You know, the most important piece here is we change some lives. It truly is, right? So, yeah. So I guess what do you want me to do, man? You want me to jump right in, kind of talk a little bit about my story? What are you thinking?
Well, you know, there's a good point that I want to say there. You know, Mark shared a text message with me earlier that he's talking about, and you know, the guy passed away and the therapist was letting Mark know. And, you know, man, tell me the truth, man. That's got to feel like, for me, that's like somebody saying, I'm choosing between you and Grant Cardone. I love Grant, but I'm just saying, somebody saying, I'm choosing you and Grant or you and Jordan or whatever, and they end up going with Jordan and they lose their money and going broke. That's like the equivalent of this. You know what I mean? It's like you offered all the opportunity in the world, and, you know, they chose to not beat their addiction, man. And it's got to be hard in that, man. Because, like, for me, it's like, okay, well, I didn't get to change Mark's life because he went with Cardone or whatever the case, right? Or Brunson or whatever. And for you, it's like, dude, I didn't even get to save the guy's life. You know what I mean? There's like no second chances, dude. That would fuck me up in this industry, in your line of work.
Dude, it literally hit me. So I was rounding the corner as I was texting you that, and I was looking over at my son, and I'm like, fucking, I'm truly changed. Like, I have the opportunity to save lives. Like, I know we talk about wanting to help lives and do things, and we're all about helping people. But when it hit me, the fact that sometimes my 5 minutes or 3 minutes or 20 minutes or 45 minutes, or whatever, can make an impact on a dude's life that strong, I didn't realize how much power I truly have. And I'm not trying to say that to be conceited. It makes me realize, like, dude, I need to step up my game, because obviously there's something that I need to do more for these guys. So, dude, it literally, I'm not going to lie, I shed a couple of tears, because I'm like, dude, I had a chance to help this guy, and I couldn't help him. So it hurts, man, more than any chargeback I ever got in the automotive industry, right? It fucking hurts. So, and I'm a little sad about it.
Yeah, man, totally understandable. So those of you that are hopping on here, leave us a comment. We see that there's about 40 or so of you watching this. Man, this is going to be an important live stream video. I don't go live in here very often. And when I do, it's always with something that matters. So leave a few comments in there. Give us a fist bump in the comments, right? Let us know you're listening so more people see this, starts to fuck up the algorithm. You know how it works, right? So because people need to hear this shit. Because what Mark's about to say, I know from a personal perspective, you know, hell, fuck us salespeople, dude. If you're a salesperson and you don't have an addiction, you're either lying to yourself,
right,
not paying close enough attention, right? Or, you know, dude, we all have addictions. Like salespeople, man, smoke cigarettes, drink alcohol, do drugs, hookers and blow. I mean, fuck. Every movie that's ever been made about salespeople involves people fucking doing debauchery shit because they have an addiction. So before we get started tonight in what Mark's going to share with you guys, we're not judging. I just left Las Vegas. Like literally, you know, I just left Las Vegas and didn't get home till 4 o'clock Las Vegas time and hopped on a fucking plane. Been working events for 2 days. Like I've seen people, you know, there's people that come to our events and there's the people that go there and they're there to fucking win and everything else. And there's the people that, you know, by noon alcohol in Vegas has called them and they don't even show back up to the event. You know what I mean? And they want to be at the event. They want to learn the shit, but fucking addiction's tough, man. So I want you guys to listen and pay close attention and engage with what Mark says. And if you have questions or whatever, just leave them in the comments. I'll be reading them. But yes, take it over.
All right, cool. Mark. So absolutely, yeah, if you guys got any questions,
I may interrupt you.
Yeah.
I may interrupt you from time to time if you got like, you know, some shit for me to chime in
Absolutely.
on.
So I think I'm just going to give a little background of who I am. And you may or may not know me. I've been around a little bit of a while. I've been friends with Ryan for a bunch of times here. I'm actually a personal client of his. So thanks again for having me on here. But I've been addicted to – everything started with alcohol for me, right? From years and years and years ago. But I've been addicted to crystal meth, heroin, cocaine, fucking pussy, like you name it, every single thing that you could think of, it was mine. When I wanted to do it, I wanted to be the best at it over and over and over. I built, before this internet thing, I built 2 trucking companies from 2007 to 2013. I grossed $75 million in gross revenue. I would party like it was going out of style. I mean, I'll tell this story. Like, I know you like to joke about the hookers and blow quite a bit sometimes, right? But I've done more fucking blow out of hookers' assholes than you could fucking even imagine. And the truth is, and it's real. You know, I hope my girlfriend doesn't hear that upstairs, but my she might leave me. But yeah, we make light of it. But that's the thing, right? Because the personality that we had was, or that I had at the time, was fucking out of control. I wanted to be the best at everything. I wanted to be the best at business. I wanted to be the best partier. Like if you call, I'm not the guy you call to go out and have one beer. I'm the guy you call to get completely fucked up and end up 3 states away and not even know who you are, right? Like that's the kind of mentality that I had. But I always had the ability to make money. So I remember, like, just to bring up a Vegas story, dude, leaving these $85,000 I spent in one night at the Spearmint Rhino Strip Club. I don't remember a fucking thing. Left with some girl that just was calling me Poppy, and I ended up like obviously you know what happens there, but the point is, like, it went away and everything came so fast. So I built that company up, wasn't paying attention to it. I lost it. I built another company up. Took that thing from $200, my last 200, to $6 million, and I fucking lost that again. Did really, really well selling cars, which was cool. But all the time, man, like the most important piece for me was to really, truly change people's lives and to do stuff here. So here's the thing. I'm going to say something that you may resonate with it or you may not. Like AA or NA or celebrate recovery or all these different options are great options, and they're free options, right? That's what we're kind of here to talk about. if that's what fits. However, I believe that people in a group called Sales Talk with Sales Pros actually have, they want to make money. So they understand that investing in themselves is the right thing, right? And I'm not here to pitch anything right now, but I'm here to say if anything is better than nothing, right? So if you have to go to A, or if you've been doing it for years, please don't take it as me talking shit. It just didn't work for me, right? It literally did not work for me at all. You know, one little fun fact I'll tell you guys, the first night, not fun, but in between my stint of losing my first business, going into my second, like that second business there, that little dip, I was suicidal. I was depressed. I had just lost everything. I closed a $27 million deal and literally lost, like 3 weeks later, lost everything. It was a fucking nightmare. Before that, I was in the jungle in Jamaica, just partying my balls off. Like literally, I went into the jungle, no running water, the only white dude around. Like, it's fucking amazing that I was able to make it back. And I had just signed a $27 million contract. Anyway, so I lose the company. I come back from Jamaica. I do all that shit. Then next thing you know, heroin enters my life. And that literally went from one night, me being suicidal or waking up suicidal, to doing heroin, to it taking my best friend. He was fucking dead. It was gone. It was over. And you would think like that rock bottom was enough to be able to stop me, right? But it wasn't. I kept going and going.
I lost my best friend to heroin too.
On the like, you had to try to bring him back to life, like you were right there with him?
Dude, I'm the one that I went to his house and he was on the couch. I'm the one that like found him dead. Yeah, it's fucked up.
And you know, and I don't think anybody, especially you being a dad and me being a dad, like, could you imagine your kids having to fucking do that, right? And the sad thing is, like, that's people's reality every single day. And the truth is, like, we can make jokes about the hookers and the blow and the money and all this shit, but the money, it doesn't discriminate. As a matter of fact, I believe that people who make more money have more problems, right? Like, literally, because we can do whatever the fuck we want. We get hotter women, we get fucking, you know, you get the VIP clubs, you get all the shit you want, but
can afford drugs.
You can afford drugs, you can afford anything.
You can afford alcohol.
Right. So what I wanted to get at real quick was kind of talk about, like, I went through 7 major relapses. Even in the car industry, I ended up fucking taking help from the dealership. They sent me to rehab. I did 28 days, sold my way out of there, right? Literally got out of there. I fucking relapsed in 6 hours. 6 hours, and I ended up losing everything, right? Like, I turned a lesbian straight for 8 days. After that, I was on the backside of this bender, and like my life was over. But what I really want to get into tonight a little bit is why I don't think it, like why my program works, right? Or why I believe it's different. Because I think that the addiction is rampant, right? But the alcohol or the drugs or whatever it is never truly the problem. It's always the solution. And I felt like every time, and I know that you can go through AA and they're gonna tell you how to tear it apart and what to do and do all these certain steps. The thing is, once you get down there, they want you to be addicted to it, basically. And in my opinion, they want you to be addicted to it. They want you to keep coming back. They want you to do step by step by step and live at this thing. And that wasn't for me, right? I wanted to thrive. I wanted to have purpose. I wanted to fucking spread this message. I wanted to make money. I mean, they told me you can't even have a plant, and that just didn't sit well with me. So one of the biggest things too that I preach to these guys, which is, which may or may not be, I mean, it works for my program, right? But we help these guys get control. Now, what I mean by that is I help them get control of their life. I would say 85% of the guys that come to hang out with me and want to be part of the comeback, they all say they want to get control of the alcohol. But after the 6 weeks or 7, 8, 10 weeks into it, they realize that alcohol was really doing nothing for their lives, right? So we're able to get down to the why to the what and really trying to crack that code. But the way we're able to do this, dude, is goes down to a conversation that you and I had. And maybe you want to chime in here a little bit with me. Core values, right? You actually helped me kind of get this message out here, which is why we're spreading it. The core values of the comeback are faith, finances, family, fitness, future, freedom, and foundation. And what I found was every time that I would get part of them, I could get in good shape, right? And then I would fucking relapse. Or I could be a great dad, but I couldn't pay the bills, right? Like, I could never seem to put these pieces together. Or I would get all 4 of them and then I would fucking fall off. It's because I was missing the other 3. So what I've been able—
The force of average, baby.
Exactly, right?
It's the force of average, you know?
Right. So I guess where I'm going with this is the biggest thing that has made my life successful and probably made your life successful too is choice. right? Decision. How many choices could you have made different that would put you in a different place than right now? Let's talk about your story for a little bit, right? Like, so these guys understand.
Do you know that the average human has to make, like, I think 5,000 choices a day? Think about it. And then here's why people make bad decisions on alcohol, because your reticular activating system is really wired to make about 2,000 choices a day. But we have so much shit going on and so much fed to us that by the end of the day, it's exhausted. You know, and it's easy to say, hey, let's go get a drink. And I get it. For a lot of people, you know, you can, and alcohol's not my thing. My thing is obviously marijuana, right? And marijuana's like alcohol to me. I smoke one joint and I'm fucking, you know, high as Snoop on for another year. You know, that's just how I am, you know. And with alcohol, right, we'll just stick to this scenario. With alcohol, you know, it's like some people can go on a Wednesday and have a couple drinks and go home, right? They meet somebody and they may drink once a month, once a week or something like that, right? There's a lot of people that their reticular activating system inside of their head, at the end of the day, they're so exhausted and so fatigued from work. Because, I mean, being in sales is a bitch.
Right.
People hanging up on you, people mad at you, people talking down to you, people talking shit to you, having to be sharp and handle objections, man. It's a fucking load of work. And so you go to try to numb all that shit that happened to you because it's stored in your subconscious, whether you realize it in the front of your brain or not. And you go and, you know, it starts off, you have a couple drinks. Then you you got like a second win. Then you end up staying out all night. And you repeat this process every day. Your numbers start going down. You're not doing as much at fucking work anymore because you're exhausted. And you're consistently making bad decisions in the nighttime. And I've seen it fall apart, man. I've seen guys that work with me do this. I've seen my clients that I've had in the past, none of them now, but I've had past clients that fall into this. Like, I've seen it a million times. And for most people, they don't even realize how much damage that does. Like I said, if you just have the occasional drinks, this isn't for you. But if you're severely addicted, you're drinking every day, right? We'll just say if you're severely addicted, that means you're drinking every day, right? Whether you want to admit it or not, if you drink consistently every day for more than a month, you've got an addiction, okay?
For
sure. And so the reason why I say that is you have no idea how much that addiction's costing you. It's costing your performance at work, right? And just think the time that you spend at the bar or whatever you're doing, if you spent that watching YouTube videos or motivational videos or working on your business or setting up an email autoresponder or some shit like that, right? Think of the money it's costing you there. Think of the money that you actually spend. I know last night we dropped $40,000 fucking dollars at the bar, right? And now, mind you, it was a business thing, right? It wasn't like that. But I mean, just think of that amount of money. You know what I mean? Like, and I watch these guys in Vegas, my friends will go and win a whole bunch of money playing poker and then turn around and rent a room for $10,000 a night, which, by the way, I rented the hardwood suite for a mere $20,000 a night for 2 nights too. So it was a hell of a trip in Vegas. But what I'm saying is, even when I was out with all these people, I wasn't getting fucked up drunk, making bad decisions and shit, because I'm aware of it. And the average salesperson doesn't realize, the average business owner, entrepreneur doesn't realize how much money they're leaving on the table and how much they're actually spending. What do you think the average, for an alcoholic, what do you think the average tab that they spend in a month for alcohol is? Like, what would you assume somebody that's a drinker that's drinking every day, what do you think they spend on alcohol?
So I would say, like, in the guys that I work with are high-functioning, high-level producers. These dudes spend $200 to $300 a day somehow drinking. So whatever that math boils down to, right? On
average, it's at least $1,000. At least $1,000
a month.
Like for somebody that drinks every day, and that's if they're drinking at home probably. But I figure it's at least $1,000 a month.
I think it's more. I mean, I don't know the stats, but I would go out to say probably like someone like us that knows how to be able to go create money and go make money. I think we don't pay attention to it. I'd say closer to 3,000. I can tell you this: on average, when I was drinking, when I had the trucking company, I was partying every day. I'd spend about $2,000 a day. Every single day, $2,000. Now that
I bet you missed the shit out of that too, don't you? You're like, man, I missed that $2,000. I sure like to have that all those days right now.
Bro, some days I do think about that, but I also think about all the strippers I put through college. At least they got something good out of it, you know. But my point is, like, these dudes, like, they look at that money and like, to hit back on what you just said, that money ain't shit. $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month really isn't shit. How much are they losing? Not staying late, not closing deals, not being fully present. So I have a couple dudes that I work with that are, that a couple $100 million a year businesses. We had one guy that got his shit together in 45 days. In the 45 days, he made another 4.3 million in 45 days just by stopping drinking and focusing on what he was doing. So the measly little money that he paid me, honestly, or the money that he spent to the bars or the tabs is nothing compared to what he lost, there, or what he, you know what I'm saying? So,
he'd been losing that 4 million the whole time. Like, it's been sitting there. It could have been 100 million by now. He just didn't realize it because he's numbing the pain at the end of it.
100%. He's not even thinking about it, right? And then what else happens? So you're spending all the money on the alcohol. You're fucking up your business. Your wife's screaming at you. You're pushing yourself even further. You're not being the present dad that you really truly want to be. Like, guys like us that are really trying to fully be the best dad that we can be because we didn't have the greatest role models. I think that the fucking dollar doesn't even matter. I mean, it matters to us because we're sales guys, but at the end of the day, like, the amount of time that you lose and the amount of pain that it actually causes other people is fucking way worse, in my opinion. That's why I think that, that's why I think a lot of these programs out there work well for these people, like a certain clientele, like Rick that works at Walmart just got an 18-cent raise. Like, he can hit that stuff. It makes sense to him because he can't do like the fucking severe damage that we can do. I think I read somewhere that alcohol causes like eight for the high-end producers, like $8 billion a year impact overall by hangovers. Like, that's how much revenue is lost doing business by hangovers by like the high-end producers. If that's the right exact fact or number. I read it and I know it was a huge fucking number because they're not staying focused on their business, right? So I guess, part of the reason why we want to get on here is obviously to kind of spread the message and fucking talk about it. But what I really want to say is, dude, it's a choice. It's a choice to blow your fucking money. It's a choice to fucking put cocaine up your nose. It's a choice to grab this water. It's a choice for you to jump on here. And what I don't know, like the fancy terms like you, because you're fucking learning these things, but it's a choice. And I believe that if you can make the right choice, your life will be exponentially better if you can just figure out how to do it. Now, what I preach to these guys is you don't have to fucking quit, but you got to get control. And it's not about getting control of the alcohol. It's about getting control of your life. And if you have a problem in your life that's not working, I think you need to take a look at it, right? You need to make a decision of what you want to do.
There's a story I like to tell. There's an old man and his grandson sitting on the front porch in a rocking chair, and there's a hound dog next to the old man. And the hound dog is just whining. Grandson says, "Grandpa, what's up with the hound dog, man? Why is he whining?" The grandpa said, "Well, he's sitting on a nail." And he said, "Well, why didn't he just get up?" He said, "It doesn't hurt enough for him to move yet." And that's how most people are. Like, maybe alcohol hasn't hurt you enough, or drugs or whatever it is hasn't hurt you enough to move yet. That's how a lot of people are, right? They well, you know what? I lost 50 grand this month at the bar and shit. Well, whatever. I'll go make it back, right? It hasn't hurt enough yet. But it's inevitable that if you're married, it's going to hurt your marriage. And I don't know if you've ever been divorced or not. I consider myself an expert on divorce since I've been divorced 3 fucking times. And I can tell you that divorce is expensive. And most of us salespeople are stupid enough to just give it to the person we're divorcing anyway and go try to get more and start all over. So that's the damage and the real cost, right? Is your relationship. Being drunk and not present for your kids. One of my best friends is a guy, I love the motherfucker to death, John Cheplack. He's a member of this group. He speaks on our stages. Great dude, and he had to figure out quick, he's not an AA guy either, and he's been sober for quite some time. And I'd tell you this, people that have had an addiction and beat it are some of the most enlightened motherfuckers on the planet because of the decisions and the workout they had to go through their head. They got shit figured out. But with John, and I know that this is a big focus of yours too, is he didn't have to give up addiction. You see, that's the thing is like, for me, you probably see me hit this a couple times. I still have an addiction, but now it's a jewel instead of joint. You know what I mean? Now this isn't fucking with my mental clarity like marijuana was. With John, he switched from you know, alcohol and cocaine, which were his drugs of choice, every night. He lives in Las Vegas, the fucking place where they pretty much make both of those things, right? And he switched it for working out. You know, he found a new addiction. His new addiction was eating healthy. If you've ever seen John, you can tell that he's a fucking addict. He's like shredded because he just shifted his addiction to something else, right? What if you stopped being addicted to alcohol and drugs and going out, and you started being addicted to personal development? You started being addicted to being the best version of yourself. You started being addicted to being super healthy and ripped. There's a guy, Alex Jeffries, good friend of mine. He lives out in Southern California. He quit drinking like I think 6 months ago, and the motherfucker is ripped. He was like fat, bird-chested, beer gut, and now he's been sober for 6 months. He shifted his addiction into working out. He's fucking ripped, man.
Right.
And you don't realize this. For those of you that drink, drugs are a little bit different, but for those of you that drink, you don't realize how much of a gut and extra weight you have because of what alcohol is doing to your metabolism, right? We see people get off of alcohol and freaking lose a shit ton of weight because they don't have all that extra fat and carbohydrates and all this other stuff, you know? So I want you guys to be thinking, you know, it's like, it's okay to be addicted, just get addicted to the right stuff.
So in that, and I also think the fact that we have addictions is a good thing. So if you work with me and we get in there, like, you know what I'm saying? Like what you just said is exactly what I preach, but you got to take that same fucking energy and being the best addict that I could be. I put it into my business, or I take that same energy. Like, and here's something else I want to touch base on. Balance, right? People they're like, oh, we need this fucking balance. We need this balance. I don't know about like the way you think about yourself, which I actually know how you think about yourself. But if you look at a scale and it's perfectly fucking balanced, it says 0. And I'm not a fucking 0, right? So I want to think in terms of abundance. I want more money. I want nice cars. I want the fucking best relationship I could have. I want my kid to have everything he can have. I want my relationships with my friends like you to be like amazing, right? So the same focus, like you just said, switching it and pushing it into is truly, it makes us better. But the problem is these programs, in my opinion, they want us just to be addicted for the day, right? They want us just to slow down today and just get through the day and just not drink. Well, I think that's bullshit. I think you need to take that energy, wrap it together, and fucking unleash it into the marketplace. Unleash it into the things that you hold valuable to your heart. So, yeah.
So there's probably going to be about 3,000 to 5,000 people see this over the next probably 2 weeks, right? We've had a couple hundred watch it so far. And so I'm sure they're all wondering now, okay, Mark, so, okay, you keep twisting the knife on me. I'm an addict. Shit's expensive. It's fucking up this, that, and the other. How do I make that comeback? How do I shake it? You know, like most people aren't David Goggins where they can just make up their mind and do some shit. So like, what is the help that you can do and how can they get themselves out of that fucking situation?
You're right. Most people aren't the David Goggins, but at the same time, why can't they be? If you listen to his book, he preaches why can't, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's our mindset. It's our own thought process. So I get that all the time. People are like, well, how did you do it? Like, what was it? Dude, I was just sick and fucking tired of failing. Like, I know that failure is a good thing, but I had enough losses to realize that, hey, the way I'm doing things aren't working, right? And truthfully, most of us all have the same answer. We have we have families. We have our why. My why got a whole lot bigger because it was taken from me. So for me, Phoenix, my son, which I had to fucking hit the ground. I had to smash it. I had to lose him. I had to lose everything to be able to make that decision. So the people out there that are on that point or on that process saying, man, what do I do? Like, I just don't think I can do it. The first step is literally just reaching out to somebody, honestly, because maybe you can't make that decision on your own, but maybe something I say or Ryan says or a pastor says or a fucking friend says that can actually help you pivot and make that mindset switch. But the next thing is immediately is you got to accept the fact that it's going to be hard. Like fuck your excuses, right? Or the force of average, dude, it's the reality of it. It really is. Nobody's coming to save you. I can help you, but you have to do the work and you have to be willing to do it yourself. So, I mean,
yeah, because you also help Kyle or whatever his name was that the therapist messaged you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a 50-50 relationship when you have somebody helping you stay sober because they can give you the mindset rewiring you need, but you still got to make the choices.
And it ultimately comes down to understanding that the choice that you're going to make has got to be something that you really want to fucking do. So when I went to rehab and I relapsed, dude, I didn't really want to do it. When I had 7 major relapses, I still wanted to be the guy that could go out and fuck shit up. And you know, and literally the shock factor is really truly what I was addicted to. I liked the fact that I could fight anybody anytime, right? I liked that I could take home other dudes' wives from the butt. Like, I was into trying to hurt people because I was hurt, right? Hurt people hurt people. So I kept wanting to hurt them and hurt them and hurt them. And I was actually more addicted to that than I was anything else. So back to what you said, it fucking boils down to making a choice, right? And getting some sort of help, whether it's with me, whether it's AA, whether it's rehab. You know, I know that's not what I'm on here to say, but the fact that somebody just messaged me and they died fucking irks me. It'll bother me tonight when I go to sleep because I wish that person would have just walked into a meeting or something, right? That's how much I actually truly care about people. So otherwise, come see me. That's it.
So how do they get right? Like, people that are watching this that have an addiction, the people that watch it over the next couple of weeks are gonna say, you know, fuck, I need to reach out to Mark. And they're gonna be scared of a couple things. They're gonna be scared of judgment, which we told you we're not here to judge you. And they're going to be, you know, they're going to be nervous, right? Because, like, think about it. When you have that problem, it's usually a secret. And it's funny. It's usually your secret, but everybody knows.
100%.
You know what I mean? You think it's a secret, you know what I mean? But everybody fucking knows it already.
100%.
Right? And so do you just want folks to message you, or do you have a website we can direct them to that'll give them some help, shit like that?
So here's what we got. We got a couple different things, right? If you're on this thing right now immediately, or you're catching it on the replay, feel free to just find me, send me a message on Facebook. I will reach out. I'm fucking super responsive. Like, that's if it's urgent. If you're still on the fence, you're like, you know what, I need to get a little more information about this. I have a link. It's iamacomeback.com/choice. Again, iamacomeback.com/choice. Also, we've got fucking hundreds of videos. So go follow me, go watch some of that stuff. There may be something on there that's enough for you to say it, or even the web. Like, if you see, it's everywhere. iamacomeback.com. We got a funnel. It's no secret, right? It's going to get in there. It's going to ask you some information, but it's going to take you directly to my calendar to have me help you. So the truth is, I'm available 24/7. It's up to you to make that choice.
So what's your handle on Instagram, Mark? They know who you are on Facebook. Obviously, I tagged you, but, like, what's your handle on Instagram? I know you're over there a lot.
Yeah, Mark Jennison Jr. It's my full name with the junior, all lowercase. Instagram's something I got to keep working out. I don't use it as much as you, but yeah, Mark Jennison Jr. I'm on there. I get messages quite a bit. Truthfully, right here on Facebook or anywhere, it's fucking super easy to get a hold of me, man. I'm going to take the time out myself. Also, I'll share one thing. My brother is also the other breakthrough coach, right? And this is the guy that saved my life twice. So the reason he can come in and actually do this is, like, he fucking helped save me, right? The only next person I can put in there would be my son, and he's 9 years old. I can't get him fucking selling yet, but he will. But my point is, so anybody who you're going to talk to, non-judgmental, like, we don't give a fuck where you've been. I don't care how many women you slept. I don't care how many people you hurt. I don't care how many fucking needles you put in your arm. I don't give a fuck about any of that. I care that you decide to make the choices to, like, fucking get control of this thing for once and for all.
Dude, and again, you guys know me well. I don't vouch for bullshitters. And like I said, I've watched Mark discover this as his passion. And how long you been sober, dude?
I'm coming up on 4 years.
Dude, that's fucking awesome. Congrats.
And
man.
I was a which it seems like a short time, but in the 4 years, literally July 27th, 2015, I didn't have a house. Or I'm sorry, I had my house, but I was locked out of it. My friend, like, they wouldn't let me in there. I had no shoes. I had no money. I hadn't seen my son in like 3 months at that time. It took another 3 months before I was able to see him. All I had left was my dignity and my desire. I had to go through millions and millions of fucking dollars. I had to lose everybody that fucking meant something to me to get this back in order. So it doesn't matter how much time I have. What matters is the amount of work that I was willing to put into it to actually make this thing work. Not just for me, but for every single one of you guys that need to do something about it. I'm here for you.
Well, two things. Make sure everybody, if you're struggling, just go to iamacomeback.com/choice.
Right.
And the other thing, man, you know, Mark, I like to just publicly ask you if you wouldn't mind, you know, going live in our group maybe once a month or whatever frequency you want to do.
Absolutely.
And just kind of twist the knife on them a little bit.
I'm-
You know what I mean? Hey, you guys still fucking drinking? You know, I'm over here trying to help you. You know, here's step one. You know, some shit like that. So
Yeah, absolutely, I do that.
I think it's, you know, everywhere I've ever worked has had salesmen, and every job that I've ever had has always at least had two of that guy, two of the old marks.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And hell, I've been that guy. Right. And so we know that we're in a group full of them. And like I said, not everybody will see this because the algorithm and everything else. So I just want to, you know, invite you to anytime you want to go live in here, you know, and drop some, you know, and what I think would be good is like what, you know, giving up your drug and alcohol addiction, the success equation, dude. You could have people doing testimonials and stories about how they made more money in sales when they stopped being a fuck up. You know what I mean? So I think that we can really, I mean, you know, it's cool for me to get in here and go, guys, you want to know how to close a bunch of sales using Instagram and social media, and that's cool. But it's like, never mind the 800-pound gorilla in the room. It's like, dude, we make more hooker and blow fucking jokes in this group than probably anywhere else on the world.
Right.
You know, like, because we fucking know each other. And so this is like not a feel good subject, but it's fucking definitely something that's running rampant through our brothers and sisters that are a part of this community. And, you know, I want to do my part to, because like I don't know how to tell people to sober up. I haven't reverse engineered it, and I've never, you know, it's been a long time since I've had it bad enough to wind up in prison or jail or some shit like that, right? But Mark doesn't, and I care enough about this community because I know, man, when I quit smoking fucking pot every day, I was fucking stoned out of my mind 24/7. Dude, my business took off. My marriage took off, right? I became an even better dad. Like I see, and that's just weed. I couldn't imagine if I was getting fucked up drunk every night or doing something even heavier, you know? And, and so, you know, guys make the decision. If you know you need to make the decision and reach out to Mark, you know?
Absolutely.
And whatever it costs to work with him, I don't know exactly what he's charging or whatever, but whatever it costs to work with him is going to be a hell of a lot cheaper than divorce. It's going to be a hell of a lot cheaper than your bar tab. It's going to be a hell of a lot cheaper than the money you're fucking spending, that you're missing by fucking spending your time at the bar and out and making bad decisions and everything else. Like it's going to be even if he charged you 20 G's and you stayed sober for just the fucking 2 or 3 years, it would mean it'd be the biggest investment in ROI you've ever spent in your fucking life.
Right.
Because what happens when you get addicted to working out? What happens when you get addicted to working on your job? Dude, fucking the game changes for you. So just like he said, one dude fucked up all the time, $4 million in 45 days later. You know, it's like, oh shit, dude. He's probably been drinking for 10 years. That could be $450 million or some shit he's lost.
Right.
You know?
And I just want to say,
I appreciate you,
like you just said about that.
Go ahead.
The most important thing though, too, that I want to touch base on, because I hear it from everybody all the time, is your family, your kids. They deserve the best dad. Like my kid's upstairs right now. He just got home. I can hear him. My girlfriend took him to play basketball. I'm gonna go up and spend time with him. But I can tell you this story about when it was Father's Day and I'm locked up in that rehab, and he didn't want to see me, and he was down there and he came running and jumped in my arms like he was scared shitless, and the fucking tears that are going down my neck from his face, I will never forget. But it wasn't enough to stop me, because I kept thinking I could do it on my own. I could do it on my own, or I'm in this here, right? It was because I wasn't fucking truly making the choice. No matter how much I love him or whatever, I wasn't making the choice. And if you're out there struggling right now and you have a fucking capability to think up here right now, and you're like, dude, this is messed up my life, just make the choice. Call me, text me, send me a smoke signal, whatever.
Well, I appreciate you coming on here, Mark, and you do good work, dude. I fucking love the shit out of you, man. I'm glad that we do life together, and man, you know, I just you're doing like this is the Lord's work, man. You're fucking healing the sick, dude. So I really appreciate it, man.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, buddy.
Absolutely, man. So we'll catch you on a phone call in a couple days. Hey guys, if you're watching this, leave some comments down there in the future, even when it's not live. Leave some comments, thumbs up, like it, so that more people see this, right? We're just here. We're trying to help people that got problems, and so it's your little tiny bit of dues that you can do by just engaging on this post. So maybe the right person sees